Everyone talks about how cheap it is to start a blog. Me too, I'm guilty of it as well. But what about as that blog starts to get bigger? Do the costs actually stay that low? What does it actually cost to build a blog to $10,000 of income a month? The answer might surprise you. Today we're going behind the scenes. I'm actually going to show you different blogs at different levels and show you exactly how much we are spending or that we spent on each one of those blogs. The first one is what I'm going to consider more the beginner level blog. Basically, it has everything you would need for a blog when you're getting started up to a pretty good level. This is cookforfolks.com. First of all, we have the website. In order to create the website, we have to have hosting. There are a couple of hosting providers I recommend, and we're going to help you keep the cost really low. So first of all, let me show you Cloudways. Cloudways is who I'm using for basically all of my websites. And really most of the time, I'm perfectly happy with one of their lowest cost servers. It costs me about $12 a month when there's no discounts going on. But I actually start up one of these servers at $12 a month, and I can actually run multiple websites on it. So if you're already planning on having multiple websites, Cloudways is where to go. But if you're like, I'm starting one blog, I need the cheapest thing I can possibly get that doesn't suck. For that, I'm gonna point you to Hostinger. On Hostinger, you can get started for $2.99 a month free. So Hostinger is a great place to go, and it's about the cheapest option you can get, especially when you're just getting started. That's what I would recommend if you're not ready to jump in at the $12 a month for something a little bit more sophisticated like Cloudways. The next thing that we're going to need is a domain. The domain name is the address that people understand. It's the URL. And for most blogs, I'm gonna recommend you try to find a .com domain, although there are a lot of other extensions out there now that are becoming much more commonplace. We have videos that are dedicated to helping you find domain names, but the best place to go to get your domain name is actually Cloudflare. Cloudflare has a lot of other features and services, but you can register your domain names through Cloudflare, and it's the least expensive place I've ever found. That's because they don't charge a markup. They're charging you exactly what it costs to literally register the domain. And right now for a .com, that's $9.77 a year. The next thing we need for a WordPress website is a WordPress theme. The theme is what dictates what all of this looks like. This theme that we're using is called Acabado. It's actually one that we built, and we built it so that our followers and our members would have a very easy to use, user-friendly WordPress theme. The Acabado theme is just $67 a year. So again, not a huge expense for a beginning blog. You don't have to pay for a WordPress theme. There are lots of free themes. In fact, one of these default WordPress themes that's named after the year that it was launched, these are free. But there's going to be a lot of customizability and user friendliness that they're not going to have built in. Okay, what else do we need that we need to pay for? Images. Now, you don't have to pay for images, but blog posts do better, they rank better, and it's just a better overall experience with users if there are relevant images, photos in your blog post. Now, there are lots of ways to get free photos. The best one in most cases is to just take your own pictures. You don't have to be a professional photographer, and all you need really is a decent cell phone, and you can take pretty good pictures and post them in your blog posts. In fact, these photos often do better because they build more trust with the audience when it's clear that the things that you're talking about in the blog post, you are actually personally experiencing in your real life. Articles that are written entirely by AI that are put together by people who don't know the topic, they're not gonna have those kinds of original photos in them. All that said, there are some great platforms where you can get images for your website that are available for you to use without having to pay royalties. The one that I recommend is 123rf.com. Again, I will link to all of these things in the description. Now, they have some images on 123rf.com that are just free. A lot of them are AI generated, but they're just free. You don't even need a subscription. That said, they have this cool subscription, this Plus plan. You pay $16.58 a month, you get unlimited images, but you only get access to about half their library. What this comes down to, for the most part, is going to be about $3 to $5 an image if you buy credits or if you buy one of their subscription plans. On Plus though, if you're downloading a ton of images, you can pay pennies per image because it's on a monthly basis. So for this video, we're going to say $16.58 a month. But on average, if you're not using like that Plus unlimited plan, you're probably going to be paying about $1 an image. And if every blog post has 3 to 5 images in it, which is what we try to do, a lot of people are putting in like 1, but we're going to be paying $3 to $5 per blog post. If I assume 10 blog posts on your website per month, I'm probably averaging about 3, and so $30 a month. So there's a couple different ways you could go about how much that's going to cost you. Next, we got to talk about an email list. For that, I'm going to recommend you use Brevo. Brevo is the best platform I've ever used for the price. There are some other platforms that can do all the stuff that Brevo does that might even be more user-friendly, but they tend to be substantially more expensive. With Brevo, I can send up to 300 emails per day with an unlimited size contact list. Like literally, I can have 20,000 contacts. And as long as I divvy them up and only send up to 300 emails in a day, it's completely free. Now, if you want to be able to send more like 20,000 emails every single month, and you want to be able to have unlimited automations, doing all sorts of cool drip campaigns and stuff, then it's going to cost you at least $65 a month. But that's about half of what it would cost on most other email platforms to be able to do the same thing. One of the other things I love about Brevo is that they let you have unlimited contacts. Most email platforms are going to actually throttle how many contacts you have. And as soon as you get one more person on your email list than what they say, they upgrade you to the next level and suddenly you're paying even more. So for a beginning blog, and even for Cook for Folks right now, for what we're doing on that website, I'm not paying for email, even though I'm collecting names and sending out an email newsletter on Cook for Folks. Now I'm going to briefly show you, these are all of the plugins we have on Cook for Folks. Of all of these plugins, only 2 of them have any cost associated with them at all. One of them is this Kadence Blocks Pro extension. Now, Kadence Blocks is a great plugin that essentially gives you a whole bunch more features in the blocks. So whether I'm making a blog post or I'm making a really good looking sales page or something like that, with Kadence Blocks, I'm given more advanced blocks and some that just don't even exist in WordPress's Gutenberg builder. And because of that, I'm able to customize my website substantially more. I do have the Pro version installed on Cook for Folks because I have it on unlimited sites. And so since I have it, I've put it there. But to date, we're not using any of the Pro features that come with the Pro extension. And so realistically, for what we've done on Cook for Folks to this day, I'm not even going to include that in the cost because it's not something that you're going to need. Get the free version of Kadence for now. That's going to be good enough. And if you like Acabado for a WordPress theme, which I love for a WordPress theme, especially for a brand new blog, get that theme and then put the Kadence Blocks plugin on it for free. And that is currently all of the costs associated with Cook for Folks to be able to build it to that point. So what did that come to? $25.96 a month total if you're using Hostinger and if you're using the free level of an email list. And if you're willing to take your own pictures or use some other form of free images like AI, that's only $9.38 a month. That is really inexpensive. That's what we've been saying. It's so cheap. But for getting your site to $10,000 a month, there is one more resource that I'm going to highly recommend. This isn't a necessary tool for your website, but it's going to help you to do this so much faster than if you just do it on your own for $34.97 a month. That is to join Project 24. Project 24 includes everything you need to know and do to be able to grow your blog to be able to achieve the kind of results we're talking about on $10,000 a month. All of that is in Project 24. That is our own membership that we have that contains tons of course information content. Step by step, it's going to guide you through building the website. It's going to guide you through coming up with the topics to write about, including selecting what niche and kind of refining that niche to be able to fit you and to be successful. That's what we built Project 24 for, was to help anybody and everybody, no matter what their skill level, to be able to take what they know and be able to achieve $10,000 a month on an incredibly passive blog. But I'm going to show you one more blog that does step things up a notch and show you what that looks like to be able to create and sell information products and do all sorts of things, but still be able to do it without spending thousands of dollars. This site here is my Project Double Time website. You thought I was going to show it to you. I can't show it to you yet because it's still a secret site. I'm growing it organically and the year isn't quite up yet. And frankly, I'm not really that close to hitting my goal yet. So I'm probably going to wait a few more months before I share what it is, but you're going to get an in-depth update on that website here soon. But I am going to go through the costs. First of all, hosting. I am still on a $12 a month server. And once again, I'm including it as $12 a month, but this one's on a server shared with several other websites. Domain, same amount, 81 cents a month. The theme that I'm using, this is where it starts to change. I'm not using Acabado on this website because I wanted it to be very, very customizable. And so I used the full Kadence Pro WordPress theme with the Kadence Pro blocks and everything. Kadence is one of my favorite WordPress themes for being able to build really custom sites that are still super fast. I love it and I highly recommend it, but Kadence is going to cost you. It's $149 a year. Or you can do what I did and pay the $799 one-time fee to be able to have it on as many sites as you want forever. There's also a few other things that we're going to use, specifically WordPress plugins. So one plugin that I'm using to be able to sell an information product that is about to be released is SureCart. SureCart's a newer plugin for sales, but you can sell physical products and you can sell digital products with SureCart. I'm also using Sure Members because Sure Members allows me to to protect certain pages on my website to only be accessed by people with a login based upon what product they bought. So while mine is an information product, I want them to be able to access all of the stuff for that information product on my website to be able to come back in the future and get updated versions of it. And I want them to be able to have this account on my website. And so I use Sure Members in conjunction with SureCart. Everything I'm using to sell an information product is available in the free version. So even that didn't add any cost. But Sure Members is $69 a year. Images on this website, I'm leaning even more into using my own photos as much as possible, but I'm still using some stock imagery. For this one, because sometimes I want more specific or specialized photos, I am using the 123RF actual subscription plan that gives me access to the full library. But if we say I'm paying about $3 a post, because some posts have 0 images that I had to pay for and other posts may have up to 5. So maybe about $30 a month. So we're going to increase that amount there for this one. Purchase content. I have purchased a fair amount of content for this website. Nowadays, I don't think in most cases I would outsource to a writer unless it was a freelance type situation with somebody who actually has experience in the niche and will write as themselves. Like they're a contributor to the site, fine. Now for those, we're often paying $30 to $50 an article. They're on the low end of the cost. That's because when you use a writing service, you're dealing with a lot of other overhead involved with managing those writers as employees. So a one-to-one freelance model is a lot less expensive, but you have to take on sort of that management role. But for a few articles a month from a freelance writer, it's not that hard to do. If you're wanting other articles that aren't from somebody like that, but you just want to be able to create more than what you have time to write yourself, today, frankly, I am using AI to do that. I know I've said in the past, don't let AI write your articles for you. And don't let AI just write your article for you. Don't just give it a couple of prompts and have it write an article. You need to know your topic well enough to fact check the article. You need to know your topic well enough to be able to feed it good prompts to be able to give you a really good article that generally matches what you would say if you wrote it yourself. It just can do it a lot faster. And that's something we're doing more and more of and that we'll talk more and more of on this channel as we go forward. All in all, I've spent about $2,600 this year on content, and that comes out to about $216.67 a month. That's a lot, but not even quite my biggest expense. The biggest expense I had on this website was actually products. That's because I wanted to be able to show the use of specific products. I wanted to be able to do some testing and stuff, because I'm also making YouTube videos that go along with this to support the blog. I've spent about $3,215 on products. So all in for this blog that I'm trying to grow quickly and that I'm going all in on products, I'm going all in on I've even paid for purchase content, which I would remove that from these expenses here, except that I did actually spend that kind of money. The total came out to be about $525.57 a month. And over 90% of that cost was the purchase content and the products. So even then, with the blog that I'm building to be something big that has information products and everything, there's no need to spend over $100 a month even, not unless you're going to start paying employees to do more of the work for you, which is part of the scaling that can be done in the future, but you're only ever going to do it after you've achieved the success that you want. So after all that, I guess I stand by the assertion that other people and I have been making for a long time. Starting a blog and using it to make a great income is incredibly inexpensive. I don't know of a lower risk that exists and that has the chance, a good chance, of the kind of payouts that we see from blogging. It's just such an incredible business opportunity. I talk about that business opportunity even more in another video, but specifically, I want to guide you to this video right here And that's going to walk you through our entire process that we teach in Project 24 for how to grow a blog to be successful and how a lot of people are able to achieve a full-time income in just a couple of years. I hope to see you there soon.